This is the one.
Hey guys,
this is such a good video. This is such a good video. The next one we have here. How often do you shine your big bald head? Twice daily. Once nightly and oh so rightly. You know what I mean? This video by Lucky Ghost, he puts these out every once in a while showing the most played MMOs and it kind of shows how MMOs are doing based on their community levels and stuff. And kind of where the games are kind of at right now. So I'm actually super excited to see where BDO is at.
Guys, welcome back. It's Lucky here, and it's now halfway through 2023. So let's talk about the state of the MMO genre and go over the most played MMOs right now. A lot has changed since the last time I made this video. We've seen some MMOs move way up on the list, while others have moved.
Stop it. Stop. No, keep going. We insist.
Way down. Some major MMOs went into maintenance mode and others have cranked up the fire. This video is...
His voice makes me want to scoop my eyeball. I actually like his voice. I think you might be in the... Deeb, I think you might be in the minority. I think his voice is fucking hot. I mean, fuck, I might be gay, dude. I might be gay. I might be gay.
Strictly by the numbers, which means I'm not ranking them by quality, simply by active player base size. We'll use active player estimates and Google Trends to determine whether these MMOs are moving up or down on the list. Which MMOs are dying, which MMOs are thriving, let's find out. Holding strong at number 13, EVE Online is a dependable old MMO.
Holding strong in last fucking place. Good job, EVE.
MMO, released in 2003 but still being actively supported by its developers and its fans. EVE Online is an MMO where your goal is to build and upgrade a powerful spaceship so that you can join up with others to vie for control of the most profitable sectors in space.
A good game,
EVE Online is free to play with the option to pay money to do things like access more of the spaceships sooner. It also...
It's free to play unless you want to pay money, in which case it's way better.
Has an optional sub, and as with most optional subs, fans of the game will often tell you that
at least it made the list. That's absolutely right.
If you fully intend to enjoy the game, the sub isn't so optional. EVE Online has a fantastic character creator, but that matters little as you will rarely see your character.
Your focus is on nothing on Siege. I'm not sure what that means. I'm pretty sure it's an insult though, so thank you.
Your ship, and it's what you'll spend most of your time controlling. In EVE Online, players form their own alliances and then battle it out for control of the universe. PvP in EVE Online is high stakes, as when your ship is destroyed, it does not simply respawn. No, you must build it again. The many hours...
Even BDO seems similar to me. Yeah, premise-wise, absolutely. Like, it seems like a kind of sandboxy MMO kind of deals. But it's just a different theme setting, right? You're in space here.
Days or months worth of material you use,
but like, yeah, it's the same kind of super complicated sandboxy kind of style feel.
Build that ship are now gone. EVE Online has made headlines as a result of the massive size and scale of some of the player versus player battles, with thousands of players on either side.
I think it's
EVE
an
Online is
incredible game.
often called a spreadsheet simulator, as many players engage in tracking materials and costs diligently. CCP Games finally embraced this and has added an integrated spreadsheet in the game. So how is EVE Online's population health? If we look at Google Trends, we can see how popular a topic EVE Online has been, and we can see that its popularity seems to have peaked in 2009. It's definitely trending down.
All right, we'll go up here. We'll go up here so that you guys can see it. All right. So, yeah, honestly, this is actually okay. Yeah, it's trending downward, but it's holding.
As games typically do after this many years, but with around 250,000 active players, it's far from dead. EVE Online recently overhauled its new player experience and seems to be completely committed to maintaining the game for years to come. SWTOR is holding strong at number 12.
Oh, God. I played this game when it came out. Oh, dude, it was so much fun. Because I had no idea. It was my first MMO, and because I had nothing to compare it to, I thought that this game was like the sex. This game was so fucking... Mainly because I just love fucking Star Wars. I know it's tough. There's no way you could have known that, but I absolutely love Star Wars. Oh, man. But once I realized that the game really did just kind of suck, I had to move on, and eventually I found BDO in a different universe. But I've heard that SWTOR has actually come a long way since it released, and it's done better now.
Despite the fact that SWTOR fans have had a rough year. SWTOR's population is on a fairly steep decline as of late thanks to content drought, and so it came as no surprise when the developer announced that it was handing the game off to another studio to put it into what appears to be maintenance mode. SWTOR launched in 2011.
Oh my God. Hey, if you look closely at the graph, you can see where I was playing the game. I'm not even joking. It's exactly what I was playing it. Yo, MSec, thanks for that raid, big man. I appreciate it. Guys, make sure you go give MSec a follow. Hope you had a great stream, buddy.
Developed by BioWare and published by EA. This is another MMO that is now free to play with an optional sub. That optional sub will unlock a lot of things, but most importantly, it will give you access to all of the zones in the game forever, even if you only sub for 1 month and then cancel. Veterans of the game will tell you that if you want to actually experience SWTOR,
Freedomato, thanks for that follow, buddy. Also, Achilles Rupture, I appreciate that follow, guys.
that's what you'll need to do. SWTOR is probably best known for its amazing class stories that
rating,
immerse you
that's
in
right.
the world of Star Wars. The class stories are fully voice acted and are incredibly well fleshed out and written. But before we continue,
the main story there is way better. The main story in SWTOR is actually really good.
let's take a second to talk about Rise of Kingdoms, the sponsor of today's video. Rise of Kingdoms is an epic cross-platform strategy game that takes players on an immersive journey through various historical eras. Players can explore and conquer new lands, and since the game has 60 million users and over 100 million downloads, you'll never be alone. In ROK, you can choose from 14 historical civilizations.
It feels like Clash of Clans.
Military units from different civilizations will obey your command. There will also be the civilization
it anymore because I just don't have the time, but Clash of Clans was awesome.
Join the event by clicking on the second link in the pinned comment below. ROK will welcome the arrival of the new Greece civilization, featuring exclusive commanders and special units, adding a new level of excitement to the game. Battles happen in real time on the map. Anyone can join or leave the battle at any time with a simple...
I'm a hacker, though. I'm good time only. Okay, I have something for you. I have something for you.
To select, making for a true RTS gameplay experience. See an ally being attacked in your backyard? Send some troops to help your buddy out, or launch a surprise counterattack on the attacker's city. Players will have full control of the layout of their city and a wide range of different aesthetic options to choose from. All in-game actions take place on a single enormous map inhabited by players and NPCs. No isolated bases or separate battle screens. Download Rise of Kingdoms now by clicking the link in the description below or scanning the QR code on screen right now. And remember to use promo code GREASE for ROK for 20 silver keys. Thanks for listening. Let's get back to the video.
All right. Hold on. This is important. If you're a hacker, this is your guy right here. That's my brother. Like my IRL brother. Like biological brother. That's his Twitch right there. He teaches people how to hack all day. That's his Twitch channel.
That's the most unique part.
And he's actually really successful at it.
Part of these stories.
There's a lot of different ways to measure a person's success. But if you're talking about money, hairline, or overall ability to get bitches, he's definitely more successful than me.
Is that your choices actually have
I'm way funnier than he is, though, so fuck that.
An impact on the ending.
It was an equal trade genetically.
Of the story, with up to 3 different endings possible for each class. This is definitely one of the coolest parts about SWTOR. Unfortunately for SWTOR, however, is its last expansion left a lot to be desired, with the community lamenting the fact that it offered barely a few hours of entertainment per faction. It had left the community wondering about the future of the game, but now they know it's being handed off to another developer. There are actually a lot of MMOs that appear to possibly be winding down.
That's how you net the hot redhead? Yeah, if the hot redhead didn't have a penis, I'd be totally into him.
Quietly begun work on new MMOs to replace them. Still, SWTOR is a largely single-player experience, and if you've never done it before, it could be a lot of fun, particularly if you're a fan of the Star Wars universe. You'll get the Star Wars music, art, stories, and of course, lightsabers. The game features 8 classes, split 4 and 4 between Jedi and the Sith faction, with a lot of overlap between the classes on each side.
I really enjoy SWTOR. It's a tremendous amount of fun, but I did really feel like the Bounty Hunter class was like way better than the Jedi, which I thought was bullshit. Because in the actual universe, the Jedi kind of just shit on people. But also, so does Boba Fett. So now it's kind of making sense.
As if one side was a near mirror image of the other side. It's not a bad game to...
The rainbow flags outside aren't where you're looking for I don't mind that. I don't mind that. I just mean that, guys are redheads too, you know what I mean? So when he says the hot redhead, I assume that he means the dude that's been working out. And yeah, he's pretty hot, but also I'm not attracted to him because he's got a penis.
To pick up and play with friends, as it does feature level scaling, which has resulted in the questing experience being very easy. So you'll definitely be jumping in for the story rather than the challenge. So what does the population look like? Well, it's been...
Wait, didn't he already show the population?
Been a bit all over the place. The game has done a decent job of holding a relatively flat level of interest.
Again, this is me. Actually, no. This is not me. This is just the best 12
although
months.
it's definitely been on the decline as of late. Still, it's been enough to keep it ahead of EVE Online and is the 12th most popular MMO in the world.
Okay.
That's nothing to sneeze at. Next up at number 11 is New World. New World went from
New Omega lol.
not being on this list to being an incredible contender sitting firmly in the middle of the list. It's now slid 4 positions from number 7 to number 11 since the last time I checked it at the beginning of the year. While it's not quite as popular as
And New World is down bad. Down 4. That's a huge dip. That's a huge dip. Holy shit. I mean, everybody always talks about, oh, New World's fine. They're making great strides to improve the game. And it's just being driven into the fucking ground. Like, I heard that this game was headed in the right direction, that the developers were trending upward, that shit was like, oh, okay, they're finally releasing more endgame content. It's doing better. It's down 4 positions. That's not good at all.
servers last year, it's still very respectable and getting better with every quarter. I'm expecting it to jump a few places again when it drops its next expansion. Most notably, this expansion is where New World gets mounts, among other things. Yes, you heard me, they will finally have mounts in New World. I'm very curious to see how they've chosen to implement mounts in this game. Did they go with the basic 4-legged creatures that move fast, or did they go more of a Guild Wars 2 route? Time will tell, but the expansion looks like it will be huge for the game. I respect the developers a lot for not giving up on this game and making it better.
New World's one of the few MMOs that I've looked at and been like, man, I don't have any motivation to play that. Although I know there are some great systems in the game, and there's some things that BDO could even take away from New World, like its open world PvP system. I don't know, man. The combat just doesn't seem particularly engaging, and it doesn't feel like it has enough content to really hold my attention for longer than maybe a month.
Better with every quarter.
I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the way that the characters walk. I mean, like, look at this.
The developers a lot for not giving up on this game and making it better with
I don't know. Even just the way the characters walk just kind of looks like basic to me.
Every quarter. And let's be honest, that was essential for its survival. The game is usually on sale for anywhere between $20 and $40, and that's it. You get the whole game for a single purchase. It's also recently added a seasonal battle pass to the game, avoiding the mandatory subscription that many MMOs take. New World features a massive seamless open world for you to explore, and that's where it really shines. It shines when you're out exploring, questing, killing, and gathering, and all the things you stumble into along the way. Every tree, bush, or rock can be gathered to level.
Yeah, plus when I watched this, the combat just looked like if it was like eloquently left mouse buttoning your enemies and then kiting and running away. Like, that's what the combat looked like to me, and I was like, all right, yeah, fuck that.
Up your crafting and gathering.
I want to be able to cast skills and shit, you know what I mean? Like, I want to be able to just absolutely lay it on people.
And DPS, and it has some incredibly challenging dungeons and a mutation.
It's so hard to compare anything to BDO combat. How is this hard? How is this hard? BDO has been out for like, what, 9 years now? If you count the years it was out in Korea, maybe 10. How in the hell is a game that has been out 10 years beating you? I know how. It's because your engine just sucks. Unreal Engine 5 is a great engine, but like also it's not if you're trying to compete with BDO's combat system
for those dungeons that basically act as a Mythic Plus system from WoW. The content can be incredibly fun, but it can also be incredibly difficult to find.
It's a huge advantage. Absolutely, yeah.
Groups, but this is getting better with every major patch.
This isn't even Unreal Engine. What fucking engine is? Okay, well, what engine is New World? Lumberyard. Okay, well, there. Yeah. Okay. The point stands. Okay.
Added its first raid and has some 20-man and 40-man raid content on the way. Huge things in the works. It's going to be fun to follow. If we look at the trends for the game, it steadily went up for a long time there.
It's doing okay. Look at that. Okay, well, it's just under 50 here, and then it's just under 50 there. So it's doing just about the same as last year, but somehow it's dropped 4 places because everything else is just doing better.
As it approached the launch of the Fresh Start servers after the Brimstone Sands expansion. Now it's been settling back down, likely due to the fact...
The code, Blue Squadron at checkout. Blue Squadron at checkout. Blue Squadron at checkout. Okay.
That while the content that's in the game is great, it's still very light on content compared to its more seasoned counterparts. This next expansion should help with that. Still, it's possible to have a fantastic couple of months in the game and do everything it has to offer right now, which is exactly what I think a lot of players...
I don't know. If I wanted a cool storyline, I'd go to Final Fantasy.
It's done. They're going in, having a lot of fun, and then running out of things to do in this young MMO.
New World just doesn't offer me anything that I feel like is just new or better than the other MMOs. It's just kind of a well-rounded... It's the warrior of MMOs. Really well-rounded, solid game. Basic bitch, though. It's not particularly great at everything, in my opinion.
Fully expect many of them
Or
to
at
return
anything.
for the next
It's
expansion
generally
in the fall.
good at
The first
most
MMO on
things.
the list to make it into the top 10 is Elder Scrolls Online. Slipping
Okay, now this is a game that I've wanted to try for a while, but only really because the mounts just look so fucking badass in this game, and it so far outshines the mounts in Black Desert that I actually get a little envious.
2 places from number 8
I'm not fucking leaving.
We didn't leave, Briggs. We did
to
not.
number 10 as a result of a couple of MMOs popping off here recently. Elder Scrolls Online is a
Solidly
beautiful theme park
average.
MMO set in the Elder Scrolls universe and takes place about 950 years before
Yeah, I mean, look at the game. Looks beautiful. It looks really good.
Skyrim. This is one of the youngest games on the list despite being 8 years old and features the holy
Oh, it's down 2 places. That's not good. I mean, like, that's... Yeah, it's struggling.
trinity of tank, healer, and DPS. ESO has 12-player raids, 4-player dungeons, as well
I've always wanted to play an MMO, like, super hardcore that has the tank, healer, DPS role. Every time I get into those MMOs, I end up stopping playing before that actually becomes relevant.
as a ton of single-player content for you to enjoy. There are 3 tiers
ESO's
of
comment is absolutely shit. Yeah, I mean, Dots Gaming would argue with you on that point, but I wouldn't. Because we play Black Desert. It's just not fair, bro. It's just... I don't know. It's like saying that it's a fair fight. And, you know, you armed your opponent with an AK-47 and then you flew over with an F-35 and just dropped a bomb on their head. Like, it's just not even fair. Technologically speaking, you just outclass them. Black Desert is just in a league of its own in that
difficulty
department.
for each of these types of content, allowing players to push themselves farther and farther. It definitely leans toward the casual MMO player and stands out as one of the more story-driven MMO experiences out there. Every quest, and I do mean every single one, is voice acted, every single word of it. ESO is a buy-to-play MMO with an optional sub, so if
Yeah, I played it a while ago. The dungeons were just dice roll spam fest. That's what I experienced too when I tried to play
you want, you can just pick up the base game and get hundreds of hours of content out of
I
it.
mean, it was still fun though. I actually did enjoy the dungeons when I did them in ESO.
Elder Scrolls Online features action combat, which is often a
Only
love
did
it
like
or
2,
hate it
though.
topic for players that try this MMO out. If you're used to tab targeting MMOs of old, it's going to take a little bit of time.
Media's balance is KEKW. Honestly, it's not a bad problem to have. I like that they're constantly shaking up the globe. Keep changing shit up. It keeps the game interesting. As long as it's within like a certain realm of reasonable balance, that's fine. It's when it gets ridiculous balance and then it's never changed for like a super long period of time, that's when you can bitch. But like, yeah, it's always going to be out of balance here or there, but like, that's almost a good thing to keep the game interesting.
Time to get used to this MMO's combat. There is some great news for ESO, however, as it just released an amazing expansion, Necrom, leaving the community reinvigorated for the future. This expansion added 2 new zones and a brand new class, among other things. The population is still very healthy for this game, and thanks to the fact that it features mega servers, the population is not fragmented like most other MMOs, which means you won't have any problems finding other people to play with. Now sliding 4 places from number 5 to number 9 on the
shit.
list, Classic WoW.
Yeah, classic WoW's down fucking tremendous. After that dude killed hardcore WoW, yeah, no, that shit's just toast. I don't know if you guys heard about the guy that literally just got like this guild had been playing for like, I don't know, God knows how many. It was like 18,000 hours a character, some ridiculous amount of hours. And they went to go do one of the final raids or dungeons, and it was like the 4 horsemen. Yeah, it's the 4 horsemen. And this guy had infiltrated this guild, and he thought that this guild, these guys, these fuckers, these are not real hardcore WoW players. These people, they aren't adhering to the hardcore rules that I consider as an upstanding citizen of the community, that I consider would make hardcore WoW. So he waited for his time to strike. He waited thousands of hours, multiple years for this moment. And they went into this dungeon, and the first boss, they all stacked up at the same time, and he dragged the boss to the wrong corner and fucking lasered them all at the same time, and all of them lost all of their progress instantly. The best part was, right when it happened, he goes, oops. just a little oopsie. Just a little oopsie. They interviewed the guy and he just said, oh, I don't even consider it griefing. It was Judgment Day. It was Judgment Day. It's not even griefing. It's Judgment Day. Yeah. I thought that was just the funniest. Oh my God. Oh man, that shit was so funny. Yeah, that shit killed hardcore WoW, bro, because now people are gonna do that all the time.
Wow. In March of 2017.
It is a joke. I mean, like, I watched Asmon's take on it, and I completely agreed with it. Like, WoW, the reason that people like WoW is because it's a really relaxed MMO. It's chill. If you die, it's not the end of the world. It's okay. It's okay to just die. You just spawn it. It's no big deal. You just try again. That's like the big draw to WoW. And if you take that away from WoW, it really doesn't make any sense. Like, you're just playing the game like a total bitch. Like, bro, I could do that in BDO and just never die. Hardcore BDO. And just play like a total bitch and just never die. Like, oh, well, he's playing hardcore BDO. He got to level 62. He's 700 gear score. Where's he been grinding the whole time? Centaurs? Oh, yeah, high risk of dying there. You know what I mean? Like, if you play the game like a total bitch, like, because it's not intended to play that way, you miss out on like 90% of what the game offers you, dude.
Blizzard finally caved and announced they would be making World of Warcraft Classic. World of Warcraft Classic.
I did play WoW Classic when it came out. It was my very first experience with World of Warcraft, and I will say that I absolutely loved it. I only stopped playing it because I had to go, I ended up wanting to go run a guild in Black Desert Online, unironically. WoW is probably at the very top of my list, or very close to the top of my list for the MMOs that I actually do want to try and give my fair shot to. Maybe not WoW Classic, though. I think that if I went back, I would do the original WoW.
Classic launched to massive appeal, much to the surprise of Blizzard, who had thought there.
Did you get sucked into the dungeon grinder? Did you level up in the world?
Subscribe.
Kill Beef Godham. Thanks so much for that brand new Prime sub, buddy. Nothing makes me better than a brand new Prime sub. Thank you. I actually did both. I leveled to level like 35 by just killing mobs. All I knew how to do is I was just vaguely trying to go quest to quest with the story and like complete quests. So I didn't even know what the main story was and what the normal story. I was just kind of running character to character to complete quests. And then like as I was going, I would meet stronger mobs and I would just stand there killing them for hours. That's what I did to hit level 35. And then I discovered I could go into the dungeons. And like I did that like 2 or 3 times, but it took so long to find a group that I was like, all right, well, I guess it just won't do this again. So I went back to the leveling experience. I don't know. The dungeon experience I thought was going to be better, but I'll be honest, I was definitely underwhelmed. But like I didn't really dive as far into it as I wanted to.
There was no way players would want a classic server.
Alex, thanks for the follow, buddy. I really appreciate it.
Spin-off of the retail version of the game was so popular that at one point it held down spot number 5 on the list. But as time passes, its player base continues to slide from its once great heights. It is insane that the classic version of an MMO sits this high on the list, but
it is insane, but also like I think that at a certain point the magic is gone. I think the biggest reason why people played classic WoW was to experience WoW when it first came out again, to have all that nostalgia of experiencing the first bosses in the entire world again. And then after you release enough expansions, you're just like, well, fuck it. I would just rather play the real thing. You know what I mean? Just honestly, just reset it and do it again. Blizzard can just recycle this forever and just never have a problem. They just keep pulling in money. You know what I mean?
This isn't the only.
It would be the same thing like if they released classic Black Desert Online. How many of us would fucking play that shit? Yeah, I'm in. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah, 0. You guys are fucking, you guys. People would love that shit. The hardcore where like everyone's the same gear. It's basically a server reset. Everyone's the same gear score again, right? Like the certain classes are OP. It'd be completely out of. It would be completely different. Be completely different. I don't know. Like you'd get to relive the glory days of trying to kill bosses and stuff. It'd be fun. It'd be fun. Yeah, Sausins and pirates. No. Chimeras and catfishmen. You misunderstand. Raw dogging the ogres in Calpheon. No CC. Oh, no. We'd have to keep the same CC limit.
MMO that's achieved that, as we'll discuss later. World of Warcraft.
Raw tapping everything. Yeah, not being able to see enhancement rates or anything. Although we know that I guess that wouldn't be as interesting. I guess it wouldn't be as good as Classic WoW, but it would still be fun.
Classic was a return to WoW before its first expansion, and then in 2021 it added the Burning Crusade. And I
will say that the WoW cinematics have always made me wish that the Black Desert fucking design team could actually put together a cinematic that was good. Like every single time I watched a WoW cinematic, I was like, fuck, I want to play that game. Every single time. It was just like I played StarCraft 2 all the time. I was a Master League StarCraft 2 player on every race. I'm really, really good at StarCraft 2. I love that fucking game. And their cinematics just catch you every time. The storyline catches you every time. WoW's storyline is so good. That's one thing that Blizzard just always does right, is their cinematics and their storylines just, oh, they just grip you. They grip you. Yeah, the Diablo 4 is exactly the same thing. Hearthstone is a game. You know, like, but like the rest of them are great.
Last year, Wrath of the Lich King, which was another hit with the community.
Wow. I love Hearthstone, by the way. I play that shit too.
Classic is the classic MMO experience through and through. Slower combat and a strict adherence to the holy trinity of tank, healer, and DPS. It was also a direct mainline injection of nostalgia for every MMO veteran that lived through the early years of WoW.
Even the 30-second graphic in the background of the SCT is dope on the entry. Exactly. If I booted it up right now, you guys would shit your pants. It's awesome. I was a big Hearthstone player. Yeah, I was legend in both Wild and like the standard format, like multiple times. I loved doing it. It was fun. I don't know. I just enjoyed it. And I did it with basically only Paladin over and over and over and over again. When Paladin wasn't good. That's what I liked about it. Now I've started playing a little bit more Warlock because we're just exploring the other realms of sexuality within Hearthstone.
WoW. It's going to be interesting to see how long this nostalgia-fueled trip through classic WoW can maintain its steam. Some fear that Wrath
I also enjoyed Blizzard games circa 1995. They're not that old.
Of the WoW experience for many, and will be the peak of the classic experience, but others aren't convinced. If we look at Google Trends for WoW Classic, we can see its explosive launch in 2019, followed by a moderate level of...
I played it in 2019 and then immediately stopped when I hit like level 50 or something. I don't know, like I don't even remember where I got to. It was like this plain land with a bunch of, I don't know, I can't even explain it, but I got to a really major city and I was really enjoying it. And then something pulled me away. I think it was League of fucking Legends, sadly.
Interest in the months and years to follow, though that interest is clearly declining recently due to two things. One, players are simply beating the content. They've cleared the
level 50 is BDO endgame. No, actually that's level 20 for Ninja specifically.
Enough times to either have the gear or not want to run it anymore.
Probably Crossroads, a little past Crossroads. Yeah, that's ringing a bell.
And other players left because they are simply burning out on the game.
Spent a lot of time in
Hardcore WoW Classic has gained a lot of traction, and official hardcore servers are being spun up by Blizzard, so keep an eye out for that if you're looking for a spicier WoW Classic experience, where upon dying, your character is deleted forever. WoW Classic was number 5 on the list.
That's why WoW Classic is dying, is because people try to make it super hardcore for no goddamn good fucking reason.
Last time I made it, and it slid to number 9 now. Will it jump higher again in the future, or is it getting less appealing the farther it gets from vanilla WoW? It's going to be interesting to find out. Still, its population is pretty impressive for a spin-off of an existing MMO, and for the proof that there is still a strong appetite for the classic MMO experience out there. Moving up one spot to number 8 from number 9 is RuneScape 3, a fantasy...
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. We're beating RuneScape.
MMORPG, originally built with Java to be played inside of your...
this is RuneScape 3. This isn't even normal
browser.
RuneScape.
Kids were playing this MMO on library computers all over back in the early 2000s. Over 20 years later, and this game is still outrageously popular. So let's take a look at it. RuneScape is interesting because there's RuneScape and then there's old school RuneScape. We'll get to old school RuneScape later, but right now we'll talk about RuneScape. RuneScape was originally released all the way back in 2001 as a browser game, but that's largely changed as of 2016. The browser version was mostly replaced by a standalone client. RuneScape.
The sad thing is I was like in high school when RuneScape like kind of just started out. And everyone was playing this shit, and all those same people are still playing this shit. I don't understand. I really don't get it. I tried and I was like, the graphics are so bad. I don't understand. Like, why play a super grindy game like this when you could play like Black Desert, Lost Ark? Like,
RuneScape is a game where you can level anything by doing that thing.
I truly do not understand. Back in like 2010, yes, I understood RuneScape. Yeah, okay, it was fucking amazing back then because, like, you know, the idea that like this grindy game that you could play forever, that was a new concept back then.
Using magic. It's a grindy MMO with tons of content, seeing as
we played Halo on high school computers. We played fucking RuneScape, and Facebook was brand new. Brand fucking new.
Getting new content for over 20 years. As much as RuneScape has evolved past its sibling old school RuneScape, it's still very much an old school MMO experience. Slow-paced fights, basic combat, and not so state-of-the-art graphics. RuneScape did add a WoW-like ability.
We played cool math games. We played the Oregon Trail. Don't fucking talk to me about OG games. We played the Oregon fucking Trail. That was the fucking game.
System and a very
that game was juice, and I was the first one in my class to beat it. I remember the whole class was like huddled around me, and I was going down like the final level on the raft, and I was like dodging, and they're like, oh my god, watch out for the log, you know what I mean? And I got to the end and everyone was like, let's go. Fuck yeah. We love
contentious cash shop as it aged, leading to the birth of its younger, older sibling, Old School RuneScape, which we'll talk about later in this video. The beta-win nature of this cash shop didn't go over well with the community, and in a strange but telling twist, the classic version of the game without the pay-to-win.
Shut up, Retro. I relive it all the time.
Cash shop has ended up with more players than the modern version. If we look at the trend for RuneScape, you can see how insanely popular it was back in the mid-2000s. Absolutely massive.
2004, this is 2009, so like this is like I was in high school around like here, and I graduated in 2010, so like yeah, like right through here. It was really popular.
Massive popularity. If you were an MMO player and you weren't playing WoW, there was a good chance you had dabbled in some RuneScape. RuneScape has lost a lot of
I wanted to play World of Warcraft so bad when I was a young guy, but it was a monthly subscription, and I hate monthly subscriptions. I hate them. To this day, I still hate them. I hate that Adobe turned into a monthly subscription. I started using other software. I hate monthly subscriptions. I have always hated them. In fact, I spend more money on your game if you don't make it a monthly subscription. Like, no shit. Like, BDO, I've spent more money on BDO than I ever would have on a WoW subscription. Like, I hate subscription models.
Players in the last decade, probably
Final
many
Fantasy
of whom
14
went to its sibling
exactly.
Old School RuneScape. If you've been enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe for more MMO content.
Only reason I never played Final... Exactly.
Zeker just subscribe.
Zeker with the new brand new Prime sub. Zeker, thanks so much, but I really appreciate it. Honestly, we're at number 8.
Number 7 is Guild Wars 2, which is the first MMO on this list to move up multiple places, jumping from number 11
Jesus, number fucking... Look at the jump 4 places.
Number 7, and it likely won't stop there as it's approaching its next expansion called Secrets of the Obscure. This expansion will feature a massive combat overhaul. So if you...
You know, I've never even looked at Guild Wars 2 as a potential game that I could play. I've never done it. I've never even looked at it.
Tried it before but didn't care for the combat, it might be worth revisiting. It's also worth pointing out that on average Guild Wars has been trending up for the last few years, which we don't see very often in games this age. This is in large part due to its very successful End of Dragons expansion, as well as releasing the game on Steam.
Fuck that, I'm in. I love cool mounts.
Greatly helping to increase its visibility, something it has always seemed to lack. Guild Wars 2 had an explosive launch back in 2012 and has since been one of the most popular MMOs on the market. Guild Wars 2 is a free-to-play MMORPG developed by ArenaNet and published by NCSoft. It's worth noting that since it was developed by ArenaNet,
it hasn't aged very well. This is definitely, like, graphically, I could see why I never really looked at this game.
It won't feel like an NCSoft game. I'll let you decide if that's a good or a bad thing.
Like, I would still try it, but...
MMOs go, Guild Wars does an excellent job of encouraging zone exploration and completion, and tried hard to break the mold of having players run from one yellow exclamation mark.
Talk about the road texture. I think that... Yeah, the road texture's a little rough, but also the trees here. Even the character model is like we have a triangle, like pyramid-style skirt on, trapezoid skirt.
You know what I mean? Worth no good or a bad. Tried hard to break the mold of having players run from one yellow exclamation mark to the other, and largely succeeded in these efforts. If you try it out, you'll see what I mean. It's a very unique questing experience. I like it. Guild Wars 2 features a very
Oh god, look at those mounts. Nah, fuck it, I'm in, boys.
Generous free trial. The first 80 levels are free, and the game does not feature a sub, not even one of those quote-unquote optional subs. So when it says you can play it for free, it means it. After the first 80 levels, there's a lot of great content to be had in the expansions. However, these will need to be purchased, and these expansions...
Why can't we have these things? Why can't we have this shit? I want to ride the birds from up, you know, sitting on Navern's step. I want to ride that. Kevin...
definitely house the best content in the game. It's here where you'll really get to interact with the amazing gliding and mount systems that Guild Wars 2...
Your Peggy's better. I wouldn't even fucking care if I could ride Kevin from up.
has become known for. They did recently overhaul the new player experience a bit for their Steam launch, which has allowed you to get
like fly around with a dragon
and
and shit, because like that's fucking awesome.
So you can get a taste of what that's like. If you've watched my coverage of Guild Wars,
if they added dragons to BDO, I would throw money at the screen so fucking fast you guys wouldn't even be able to see it. Holy shit, MasterCard would be so thankful.
Before, you'll know that it's the mounts and the exploration that I fell in love with. Sprinting around on the mounts in the game, and then going high up on the canopies, and then jumping off.
Several flying mounts and gliders. Yeah, this is pretty fucking cool.
Opening my glider as I fell back to the ground was just such a uniquely fun experience. I felt for a long time that the mounts in Guild Wars 2 were the best of any MMO, and it wasn't even close. Blizzard finally noticed and more or less copy and pasted the Griffin into World of Warcraft, which also felt...
I would take a copy paste on the Griffin. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not gonna argue. I'll take the Griffin, a manta ray. I'll take Kevin. I'll take the bears that are sitting in Odalita. Give me
amazing
something
over there, by the way.
Give me something. North Arizona, thanks for the follow, but I appreciate it.
The Guild Wars 2 main story quest is all entirely voice acted. Both your character and the characters you interact with are voiced. This adds a lot to the story as you get to see your character laugh and cry and go through all the emotions that dialogue.
Okay, that's pretty badass. Yeah. Okay, they've got cooler bosses than we do.
Boxes are never able to convey in that level of detail. One of the most memorable parts of Guild Wars 2 are the world events where...
Yeah, could you imagine a quest line in BDO or like a dungeon where like Garmoth dies and gets resurrected by a necromancer, you know, to throw a word out there. And you have to fight like the SWTOR version of fucking Garmoth. Like that would be sick.
Upwards of 100 players group up to take down dragons the size of skyscrapers. These fights are truly a sight to behold, and it's really cool to see that many people in the community all get together to take things down. How's Guild Wars 2 trending now? Well, it's actually been slowly growing since late 2020, early 2021.
Like, I don't know. It's just above 50 over here. Was that? That's like 2018, and it's below 50 over here. So it's growing from the last year, or it's about the same where it was about a year ago. Well, actually, this is 2022. July. This would be like July. So it is growing just a little bit. It's definitely up a little bit.
Now, well, it's actually been slowly growing since late 2020, early 2021, while other MMOs have bled players, helping it move up 4 spots on this list. All of this while the devs are...
Welcome to the stream, Polly. For the very first time. Glad to see that you support it.
Are quietly building a new unannounced MMO. Pretty impressive.
Polly just
Coming
got
in at number 6
right
is
there.
Lost Ark, the youngest MMO on this list, which has fallen 2 places.
Oh my! Honestly, that's actually not as bad as what I was thinking was going to happen. I really wanted it to be further down the list. To be honest with you, this makes it look like the 3 bozos didn't ruin the game as badly as they did.
It's going from number 4 to number 6. Lost Ark is a free-to-play top-down MMORPG that launched in the East in 2019 and then finally here in the West in 2022. Like I said before, Lost Ark is a beautiful MMO that kind of feels like Diablo
really
and Final...
Graphically, it's the first game or MMO in my opinion that really makes BDO look aged a little bit, you know what I mean? Like graphically,
had a baby, and then
beautiful.
that baby grew up to have a gambling addiction. The game itself is well polished and has loads of content thanks to the fact that it launched years earlier in the East. But there's been a deep sense of dissatisfaction in the game's community lately. It does have a cash shop and a gear progression system that will frequently remind you of its Eastern MMO roots. The game is absolutely pay to win, or if you prefer, you can call it...
Yeah, definitely a lot more pay to win than BDO is.
Pay for power, but it is also one of the few major MMOs that you can choose to play for completely free. There are more currencies than you can count.
You can choose to play Black Desert for completely free too. The 3 bozos already got fired and they hired a new game director, so Lost Ark is saved. Holy shit, the amount of copium that man consumes per fluid ounce is astronomically higher than the rest of chat.
and your gear progression involves multiple layers of gambling said currencies. Despite its top-down view, it does feature dungeons and raids, and these are definitely some of the most popular content the game has to offer. The ultimate goal in Lost Ark is to sail around the world and collect all of the things while increasing your character's power. Yeah, you heard me right. It's got sailing, and it's pretty fun. One of Lost Ark's biggest strengths is its combat. As a lot of players will tell you, the combat is extremely satisfying. On top of that, the game features over 17 different classes, with more on the way.
Again, this was the only MMO that's released in the last few years that I've been like, okay, yeah, that might hurt BDO a little bit. But honestly, ultimately, it helped us in the long run, so God bless them, dude.
Each with their own looking feel, which makes sure that anyone can find the right class for them. If we look at Lost Ark's trends, we can see that interest in Lost Ark exploded in February of 2020.
Wait, does somebody know what the three bozos did that killed the game? Oh, it's not their fault, Sauls. We just needed someone to point the finger at. So, naturally, as a community, when we sharpen our pitchforks, there must be someone to skewer. And they took it. They did. Mask, they said Mask. Oh, thanks for that follow, but I appreciate it.
2022 when it launched here in the West, and then quickly dropped back down below World of Warcraft while still remaining above heavy hitters like WoW Classic, BDO, and ESO.
Did that guy just call us a heavy hitter? Fuck me. Oh man, we're moving up in the world. Okay. Yeah, that makes me feel good.
Last time I made this video, Lost Ark was fairly new, and I was curious to see how well it would retain its players. It's still sitting here at number 6 on the list, though it has been sliding further and further down each time I update this list.
And by sliding further, honestly, today I learned that there are many types of slides. There's like a gradual grade decline slide, right? And then that does like the kiddie slides when you're like really young, right? Like there's little kiddie slides. Then there's like the, you know, like you get up to like the 45-degree slides. And those are like the ones you like as teenagers and stuff that you like to go down when you visit like all the playgrounds and shit. And then there's the Lost Ark slide, which is akin to a fucking cliff. That's more like cliff jumping.
Lost Ark gets a lot of flack for having a lot of bots, and if you booted up the game recently, that's been pretty fair. This isn't to say that it doesn't have a lot of real players as well, as it's unlikely Google trends are swayed by bots in the same way that, say, its Steam charts are. Perhaps most surprising on this list is...
Wait, he didn't... I wanted to see, like, the 1-year graphic. I wanted to see... What? He just skipped it. Like, look, you can see, like, it's like a solid fucking drop. It's so brutal. It's so rough. Divios, hey girl, how you doing, buddy? If you guys don't know, Divios is the very best player of Black Desert Online in the entire world. He has won every single tournament, Pearl Abyss sponsored tournament that he has ever competed in. And they're like, the guy is just undefeated. He's so good. He's usually rank at 1 AOS on Striker and Sage if he's feeling it for Striker. But lately he's been playing a lot of Sage. Tremendous amount of fun to watch. Super entertaining. Very educated. Good takes on the game. Go check him out. SWC champion. Yeah, no, the guy's an absolute unit. Templar Celine, thanks for that follow, but I appreciate it. Armin Sag. Yo, Armin's a great player too. He's not the greatest of all time, though. I would say that is Divios. And I state for the record his tournament wins.
Lost Ark gets a lot of flack for having a lot...
Is this the level 20 ninja guy? Absolutely.
Of bots, and if you booted up the game recently, that's been pretty fair. This isn't to say that it doesn't have a lot of real players as well.
To be honest with you, it's surprising. I thought it would be down more. I thought it would be down way more.
As it's unlikely Google trends are swayed by bots in the same way that, say, its Steam charts are. Perhaps most surprising on this list is going to be number 5. Seeing the most aggressive leap at the time of this update is MapleStory, moving from number 10 to number 5.
All right, look. This game that looks like this, with these beautiful graphics and this combat, is losing.
Perhaps most surprising on this list is going.
He's losing to fucking MapleStory. Man, that's That's rough.
Maybe number 5. Seeing the most aggressive
That's pretty
leap
rough,
at
dude.
the time of this update is MapleStory, moving from number 10 to number 5 due to a massive spike in the game in recent
Holy
months. I'm not sure
shit.
that this will hold, but for now, it gets to claim the 5th spot. MapleStory launched in 2003 in the East and 2005 in the West.
Look, MapleStory's not a bad game. I just don't, you know, like is it PvP or, you know,
This game was a
it's not really the pinnacle of PvP success.
gateway MMORPG for a lot of modern day MMO players.
It's a great game, but like also it's like overwhelmingly pay to win, and like I don't know, it's really cutesy and shit. Lost Ark just looks like way more mature and better, and and it's losing.
It's immensely successful and still manages to stay relevant nearly 2 decades later. MapleStory is a free-to-play 2D side-scrolling, massively multiplayer online role-playing game
It's
developed
the shy of video game. Exactly. That's a perfect, yeah, it's just the shy of the MMO genre.
by Wizet and published by Nexon. So far, the game has reached over
These guys are getting 1-0 bozoed.
260 million registered users worldwide and grossed over 3 billion in lifetime revenue. To put that into perspective, the only MMO that comes close to having that many people try it is World of Warcraft. It's got around 42
True.
different classes for you to try and offers an incredibly unique and accessible experience. So if your computer specs aren't the greatest, or if you want something completely different, perhaps give this game a try. It's got 2 decades worth of content, so there's plenty for you to do.
Yeah, I will not be trying MapleStory anytime soon. That's just not gonna, it's just not my cup of tea, man. I like really graphically beautiful games. I like to see the personality in my character.
How's interest in the game been? Well, recently its interest exploded, propelling it 5 places, but how long will that hold for this 20-year-old MMO? Another MMO that has
Coming from a guy that currently owns Yu-Gi-Oh cards, yeah, no, I'm like, yeah, I know, I get it. Okay, boy, yeah, it's us. Hey.
recently moved up in the world is Black Desert Online, moving up 2 places from the last.
Holy shit, dude. Oh my god, dude. What the fuck? What the fuck is that arc, dude? We're actually just get the fuck out of here, bro. It's like, holy shit. We're not fucking leaving. We're at number 4, boys. We're up huge. Let's see what he has to say.
Last time I made this list, from number 6 to number 4. BDO is one giant seamless world. You can run from one side to the other without any load screens. And if you ask someone why they play BDO, it's almost always going to be the combat. That and how beautiful the game is. BDO is an open world game with very little in the way of instance content. You don't just play.
That is still technically true as of this patch. Yes.
BDO for dungeons and raids. You play BDO to kill things out in the open world, often for hours just to gain a few % of level. BDO is very much a grindy game. Also very important to note is that it is an always on PvP game. Once you hit 50, the PvP is on. Anyone can kill you anytime. That seems like some.
Okay, I don't like that he mentioned that, because really, like, how many people actually do that? Yeah, Strider, what's up, buddy?
I'm not fucking leaving.
Yeah, we're not leaving the number 4 spot here, baby. We're only up from here. I don't like that he mentioned that, because it scares people away when you say PvP. Ooh, big, spooky, scary man, PvP. Like, all right, well, like, nobody's really flagging on you at level 50. It really doesn't happen.
Something you might want to know.
I got killed in a drive-by at Nuvera yesterday. Well, you shouldn't have fucking been there.
Other things you'll hear players talk about when it comes to BDO is the gear upgrade system, which oftentimes is described as one of the most frustrating gear upgrade systems in any MMO, involving a lot of chance.
I'm not leaving.
He didn't say how often, he just said it's possible. Yeah, but floating the idea out there...
I'm not fucking leaving.
Floating that idea out there just implies that, like, you're gonna get it a lot, right? Like the way he says it implies. Here, I'll play it again.
Or without any load screens. And if you ask someone why they play BDO, it's almost always going to be the combat.
Later, Peter.
And how beautiful the game is. BDO
Thanks,
is
buddy.
an open world game with very little in the way of instance content. You don't just play BDO for dungeons and raids. You play BDO to kill things out in the open world, often for hours just to gain a few % of level. BDO is very much a grindy game. Also very important to note is that it is an always on PvP game. Once you hit 50, the PvP is on. Anyone can kill you anytime. That seems like something.
Yeah, but like, see, like that, mentioning it that way and just letting it go implies that, like, oh my gosh, this happens all the time. Every time you see a white dot, you're like, do I look like Saturn? You know, it's just not like that. It used to be like that a long time ago.
You might want to know. The other things you'll hear players talk about when it comes to BDO is the gear upgrade system, which oftentimes is described as one of the most frustrating gear upgrade systems in any MMO, involving a lot of chance and
Okay, yeah, but you can get around it. Please tell me he said.
perhaps some gambling. And you know how gambling goes. The house always wins. BDO features a ton of unique classes.
Yeah, see, I don't like that he said that either. Yeah, is it a frustrating enhancement system? It's not worse than Lost Arks. For starters, for one. But in fairness, that's demonstrated by the fact that we're above them on the list. But also, you can just circumvent the enhancement system altogether. You don't even have to you can just buy everything that you get.
And continues to actively
We can buy gear, though. Exactly. You can just buy everything.
update the game. But how is the game's population trending as of late? Let's take a look at Google Trends here. If we look at the charts here, we can see that the game's launch was incredible and garnered a ton of interest.
Yeah.
It bled
Well,
players
that was not as honestly, chat. I'm going to move you so you can see it. And that's kind of frustrating because that just says that it's low. But like it's trending upward. Okay. It's look at this. It's like a vertical, but we're on the uptick. We're on the way up.
for a long time, as MMOs do, but its recent expansion saw a significant increase in interest in the game.
That's
This recent
right.
expansion
The
focused
fuck
on
outta here.
questing and bossing, two things the game never really focused on before, and it
Yeah.
seems to be
And it
paying off in
continues to
spades.
rise, yeah.
If you tried BDO before and it was too grindy, it might be worth trying again for its Land of the Morning Light expansion. Continuing to hold down the third position is Old
Steam charts say we're losing players again. That always happens. Like after an expansion, you're going to lose some players, but I think that the overall player base continues to climb here.
School RuneScape. Old School RuneScape launched in
No, the trend is on the rise. So like the line could look like this. That is a rising trend, right? Even if it ends like this, the trend is still upward. And yeah, we're down right now, but we might continue upward again because we have the new Deheki expansion, all that other stuff coming out.
2013.
Oh god fucking damn it. We're actually just losing to old school fucking RuneScape. This is a fucking joke. Stop playing RuneScape, man! It's like playing Minecraft, dude! Look at the graphics on this fucking game! This is ridiculous! How are we losing to this? Oh my fucking god! Stop playing this! Black Desert is a better game! I like a grindy MMO. I know! Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
And continued to climb as if it is completely unaware that MMOs are supposed to become less popular with age.
Black Desert is a desert game. I'm not sure what that means, but you're probably right.
You can play this game on a computer, a phone, and probably a toaster.
You can play Black Desert on a phone. Black Desert Mobile is a thing, okay? You can be on the marketplace.
System requirements are so low that this is probably the most accessible MMO out there, and I think it owes a lot of its success to this. On top of that, Old School
Jumping Jacks?
RuneScape is a game run by the players, with each significant change voted on by the player base. Old School RuneScape launched...
Oh god, we could never do that. We would have anarchy. Are you fucking crazy? Musa would have a grab. If we let the fucking player base vote on changes? Jesus. Madness.
As a result of the community not loving some of the changes that were made to the game. Retail RuneScape added WoW-like abilities and a cash shop that many accused of introducing pay-to-win to the game, and so the community begged the developers for the creation of Old...
You're standing there auto-attacking this fucking bitch and the health bar is going... How is this fun? I don't understand. Stop playing this fucking game.
School RuneScape. Jagex finally agreed and created servers that were based on the 2007 version of the game. RuneScape does not have the player follow a linear storyline, but instead has the player choose their own path through the game. Players can choose to kill monsters, go off questing, or level up one of their many different skills. Old School RuneScape is a make the numbers go up game. You skill up, you level up your crafting, your sword wielding, your fishing, anything you can...
look at this UI. None of this is intuitive. This is miserable.
Think of, you can level it up, and a lot of people enjoy doing this. RuneScape is a very sandboxy MMO that allows for a lot of AFK skill.
Do you know what else is a sandbox MMO that has like way better graphics, combat, and everything? I can't think of one.
And thanks to its slow pace and incredibly low computer requirements, it's very accessible. It's got some pretty involved quests that would be near impossible to figure out with the help of add-ons and guides, but it's as old school as it gets, with a very clunky combat system and user interface.
Shut up,
It will
Strider.
take some time and some patience to get used to it if you're going to try it for the first time in 20.
New World? I almost didn't hear you all the way down there at number 9. Hello down there.
23. Old School RuneScape was even made available on Android and iOS and was the most downloaded mobile game in 8 different countries in less than 2 weeks. And I'd wager this is a big part of why it's so popular.
You can literally make BDO look like this. The sad thing is that thousands of people do make BDO look like that. Like intentionally. I don't understand. It's like they're playing out some sort of RuneScape fantasy. Like where they can only jack off to triangle-chested women. It's fucking ridiculous. Mythopoly, thanks for that follow, buddy.
Old School RuneScape has been so successful that its active player count has now far eclipsed retail RuneScape and a lot of other MMOs for that matter. If we look at how the game has trended on Google, we can see by the line here that it has held pretty persistent interest, spending most of its time just behind World of Warcraft and ahead of everything else. By the numbers, it appears that Old School
Spoiler.
RuneScape has landed on the 3rd spot, giving number 2
my
a run for
God.
its money.
It has such a consistent player base. This is fucking nuts. This is 2014. Look at that. There's like almost no fucking decline at all. This is fucking ridiculous. Y'all motherfuckers need to find some bitches. I don't understand.
Pretty impressive for being born from a
Move
browser.
on. You're like the fucking ninja main that's like Ninja's the best PvE grind class in the game because you've never experienced anything better. You don't know. You've never tried anything else. Branch out. There are other fish in the sea.
Game that was released in 2001. You can dismiss its success by saying it's all bots, but once again, that would fail to explain its massive presence.
RuneScape will always be one of the most searched MMORPGs on Google. RuneScape Wiki is useful for the RuneScape community. Not a single RuneScape player nowadays will not have that open.
On Google.
Well, it doesn't help that the Black Desert Online Reddit is literally a degenerate forum of fucking screenshots because the mods are neckbeard, fedora wearing freaks.
Google Trends. Next,
If you guys don't believe me, we'll review the Reddit, the BDO subreddit after this. You guys don't believe me, you just watch. I got banned from the BDO subreddit. I went into the partner channel. I was like, what the fuck? Like, what? I got banned from the Reddit, and Choice literally looked over and he was like, first time? First time? I'm not joking. Like, everyone was like, yeah, we've all been banned too, like 3 times. And I'm like, why? And they're like, we don't know. Every time we get banned, the mods just say, I'm not reading all that, and then they block you. Which is exactly what happened to me. I have the screenshots to prove it. I literally was like, yo, why did I get banned? And they're like, if you know that if you read the TOS, idiot. I'm not reading any of your description. I'm blocking you. You're muted. See you in 2 weeks. It's like, holy shit. I bet your fedora costs hundreds of dollars.
Next up, continuing to hold down the number 2
Fucking
spot
crazy.
on the list, the former, albeit briefly, number 1 MMO in the world, didn't know it wasn't supposed to age like wine, getting bigger year after year for a lot of years. In the last year, it's held steady, not really.
This MMO, this is one of the ones that I really want to try. Like, I've tried Final Fantasy. I only got to like level 26 or something though. But what I really did like about it was that the storyline felt engaging and fun. I actually, I was like a little bit more gripped by the storyline in Final Fantasy than any of the other MMOs that I've ever tried. And I kind of wanted to carry that through to fruition. So like if I do try an MMO, it might be Final Fantasy or it might be World of Warcraft. Like these are the two right here.
Growing or shrinking as
The
it
story
prepares
just gets better. That's what I keep hearing.
to announce its next major expansion. An insane accomplishment for an MMO that launched to such
Like
a
I
degree.
did try it. Like it was free to play for like a little while. And what's always driven me away is I don't like the subscription model. And it was free to play for a little while. I couldn't play my favorite class, the cat girl, because she has the best personality in the game. But like, I did get to play the other thickest class. I forget what her name was. And I played her a lot, and that was a lot of fun.
Degree of failure
I heard that the end game is really cringy RP. Is that true? It depends. Do you consider cringy having e-sex? Then yes.
that it shut the game down and relaunched Final
Yeah,
Fantasy
the bunny girl. Yeah. Honestly, I looked over at the bunny girl, and I was like, what the fuck is that? I don't know why. I'm going to pick this class. She looks the best.
14 continues to be a story that
No, I didn't. I picked a different class. I forget. She's definitely thicker, though.
that gives hope to rocky MMO launches today. You can fix an
It may have been that one.
imperfect MMO if you're willing to listen to the feedback of your fans and put
Although
the
that
work
might be a guy, I'm not sure.
in. Final Fantasy XIV is a fantasy MMORPG
Look how fucking cool that guy looks. Look how fucking cool that fucking boss looks, dude.
that places a massive focus on the story. The single player story content comes first, and every piece of the game that follows is built in service to that end. The dungeons are unlocked as part of the story, the trials are unlocked and woven into the story. Some of the most memorable cutscenes in the game are delivered in the middle of a trial while you're fighting for your life. Final Fantasy XIV is a master storyteller.
Really cool.
It also features 20 different classes and the holy trinity of
That is the draw of Final Fantasy XIV. It's the only reason I want to play it. I just want to play the main story. I just want to see what it's like. Because I feel like the rest of the game is more or less lackluster.
tank, healer, and DPS. Final Fantasy XIV has a free trial where you can play the game's first 60 levels for free. After that, you'll have to buy the game and pay the mandatory sub. Thanks to this mandatory sub, however, this game is free of pay to win, it's free of loot boxes, and it has hundreds of cosmetics.
Yeah, no, most of my experience with Final Fantasy came from walking into a tavern and standing there for long enough for people to invite me to some sort of ERP chat room. But unironically, ERP or like RP in Final Fantasy is not even frowned upon. In BDO, it's like, oh, that's so cringe. Oh, it's crazy. But in games like Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft, it's actually encouraged. It's like fun. It's not always about sex, but it's usually about sex.
And mounts that you can earn in-game by playing the game. It's going to be fascinating to watch and see what direction they go with the story in their next expansion, and just as importantly, how many people show up.
Anyone that says they don't like RP is full of shit. Y'all motherfuckers love Dungeons and Dragons, and I know you love Dungeons and Dragons. Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, that shit was all RP and you loved it.
Will it continue to be one of the only MMOs that experiences long-term growth?
If Baldur's Gate 3 is popular, RP. RP. My Fedora says yes, exactly.
If we look at how Final Fantasy XIV is trending on Google, it's been battling WoW for the top spot. With the launch of Dragonflight, all of that changed. Which brings us to, not surprisingly, number one on the list.
The Kings. The Kings.
World of Warcraft, continuing to hold down the top spot with a sizable
Oh my god. No one stops playing this fucking game,
gap
dude.
between it and the next biggest MMO. The lead up to Dragonflight propelled it above Final Fantasy XIV, and it's held on to a lot of that interest. Public opinion in the game has largely recovered since the self-inflicted wound that was the Shadowlands expansion. On top of that, we should see Blizzard announce its next expansion at BlizzCon in November, which should be a huge boon for interest in the game. People have
I really like WoW. I think it's a really cool. I think the world is beautiful. I feel like the art textures have aged better than any other MMO. Like I feel like like the style in which the game was done. I don't even mind that it's lower graphics because the style of art it actually looks fucking good. I like that. I really don't like the combat in the game very much, and there are some systems within the game that I really don't find super engaging. Like I really don't feel like I should join a guild in World of Warcraft and like get to know people. Because, like, I can just queue up for dungeons and shit. Why the fuck would I ever interact with another player? Which, like, I don't like that very much. I like that BDO kind of forces you into guilds more. But, like, I don't know. I like that community aspect of the game. But part of the reason I never really got involved in WoW is because I never found a guild or a community that kind of scooped me up. Otherwise, we might be playing WoW today.
have spent their entire lives playing.
WoW will always be at the top? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that, yeah, it is a major player base and stuff, but I think that something else will come out that will capture the attention of the audience more than WoW. Ashes of Creation kicked up. When that releases in 2035, then you'll see.
Playing World of Warcraft, with some players now clocking 18 years played. It's a testament to the massive appeal that this game was able to garner. World of Warcraft is a massive, seamless MMO that's...
Yeah, I think the Riot MMO is like what we're all holding out for. And honestly, I'm so glad I'm not a developer. If there's one job in the world that I don't want, it would be to be a developer for the Riot MMO, because the entire MMO community is looking at that like, you better not fuck this up. Like, we need it.
Still handles scale better than almost any MMO I've played. You can see locations, multiple...
They really need to make it third party, not top down. Oh god, if it's top down, it's already ruined. I can't even do it. I fucking hate top down. It better be third person. It had better be third person. I will riot in the street.
zones away and get on your mount and then fly to them. This is something that a lot of MMOs...
Part of the reason I could never get into Lost Ark is because it's top down, man. I just can't. I want to feel engaged with my character. I don't feel as engaged with my character if it's not top down. How can I check out my witch's ass if I can't constantly be staring at it?
Created well after WoW are still unable to deliver on thanks to them being broken into smaller zones. Despite its age, WoW still looks great thanks to an art style that's aged incredibly well over the years and multiple engine overhauls. WoW features the trinity of tank, healer, and DPS and has 13 unique classes, each with multiple different specs. There is a lot of single player content for you to level and play your way.
WoW only has 13 classes, but they're not gender locked though. So like you can level them with the, okay, that makes sense. Okay, that's fair. Man. We have so many more classes. We're like League of Legends, man. We have so many classes. We just keep more classes. What are you going to do to more classes? What are you going to do after another class? Another one. They have 3 to 4 specs per class. I would like them to add another spec in BDO, to be honest with you.
Through, as well as dungeons and raids. WoW's dungeons and raids are among some of the best out there, but be prepared to devote a good chunk of your...
Can you just fly around in the open world in WoW, or do you, like, is your mount always chained to, like, a certain way to fly? I feel like eventually you just hit a load screen. They did that now? Okay, yeah. The only way I could fly around when I played WoW, WoW Classic, was like I had to get on a griffin, and I couldn't steer it or anything. It just flew me to what's that big city for the Alliance? I'm forgetting the name on it. Ah, shit. I don't know. It's a super big city. Stormwind. That's the one. I would take the griffin to Stormwind every time. That's what I used if it wouldn't take me anywhere else.
Your time to them, as they are quite a bit longer than most MMOs, dungeons, and raids today. So what does interest in WoW look like according to Google Trends? You can see on this graph here how it
Holy shit. Look at that fucking... Well, in fairness, it was like the first one. It wasn't technically the first one in the genre, but it was the first one to fucking get it right. Right? It was the first one to really capture MMOs. It was the first one to really capture what we wanted in an MMO. It's like this open world feel. You know, where you can run around and interact with players cooperatively and like kill monsters together. That's what people wanted, right? And it's still doing pretty well. Like, yeah, it's no comparison compared to like what its early years here, but like, whew, it's still doing pretty well. It's still doing pretty well.
Absolutely dwarfs the competition in its prime. Looking at its popularity from 2004 to 2012, nothing else even comes close. And while WoW continues to fall in popularity, when we zoom in and look at the last 5 years, there is still a substantial gap between the interest in WoW and the interest in every other MMO.
Yeah, but we're coming though. We're coming. They don't show us on this graph because we're trying to keep a low profile. It's not because we're not even close. Don't even think about that for a second. We're getting there. We're trending. We're hashtag trending.
We've discussed so far. This titan in the industry is still just that, a titan in the industry. And with the success of Dragonflight,
exactly.
It's kept its spot at #1. In fact, WoW's rise wasn't overnight. It's also worth
in fairness, if you release any expansion with the word dragon in it, I think that if BDO, what's up, Strider? I think that if BDO introduced I don't know, Dragon Riders, the expansion, oh fuck, bro, we're all in. We're gonna have a massive spike in players. It's not even gonna be remotely close. We had Draconia, and that is still the most played fucking class in the game. If I release something that has Draconia in the title, I automatically get more fucking views than any other class in the game. You think I fucking know?
Noting WoW's been on a bit of an upward trend for
dragons. That's what we want. Dragons. We want dragon.
The last couple of years, but can it maintain
they're not
its momentum
wrong. We
this
like
time?
dragons.
We'll check back in on it later in the year, but for now it's #1 and it's not even close. It's been an amazing couple of years.
They gave us Garmoth and we were so disappointed in that pinata of a fucking boss.
For MMOs, we've seen multiple MMOs drop absolutely
Look how
stunning
cool that dragon
expansions,
looks.
like WoW's Dragonflight Guild.
Damn, I love dragons. They're so cool. They're
Wars
so
2's
cool.
End of Dragons, Final Fantasy XIV's Endwalker, ESO's Necrom, BDO's Land of the Morning Light, and New World's Brimstone Sands. There's
That's right.
also an amazing year ahead as
Oh
we have
my
an
God.
incoming
If this was, holy shit, if this was a boss where you're flying away from a giant fucking dragon on your own fucking dragon, I would actually, oh, fuck me dead. Oh, that's so fun.
Guild Wars 2, New World, Final
Manga!
Fantasy XIV, ESO, and World of Warcraft expansion set to be delivered within the next 12 months. Did any of the results on this list surprise you? Let me know down in the comments
Yeah, I was actually surprised that New World didn't fall further down the list.
below. Which MMOs do you think are going to move up or down when I update this list again in 2024? And what will the addition of Throne and Liberty do to this list? Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel to
I mean, honestly, though, I was told that like many times. I'm going to link the video. This is a really good video. Obviously, Lucky Ghost puts out some amazing stuff. I'm going to try. Make sure you guys go give it a like. Everything I've heard about New World is that it's trending upward. It's doing amazing. It's awesome. You know what I mean? But like, then it's down 4 places. It's like, all right, well then like the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie at all. Like get out of here. You know what I mean? All right. All right, so we have our new, okay. My boy Anders. I'll go back to Astral Grinding and BDO. Well, honestly, let's see. Hold on. Let's see if anybody mentioned BDO in the comments here. Hold up. So happy Guild War 2 is yeah, fuck that dude. SWTOR, okay. Ah! Crazy how popular BDO has gotten. VA have done a lot to make their game a lot more accessible, and it's worth noting that the open world PvP is pretty much dead. That's right. That is absolutely right. And PA has pretty much removed it since Karma is family wide now. You will get killed. You will not get killed often. Upvote. Upvote. Thank you, Blue Pelican 234. You're the real hero. That's right. I'm glad to see the MMO genre is doing well right now. I've been getting into Guild Wars 2 recently and been enjoying it a lot. I grew up on ESO, so Guild Wars 2 is a very familiar feeling. Oh, okay. Totally blue alt account. Shut up.